dealing with the I need to speak to my partner objection that happens at the end of sales calls. Now, in this video, I want to help you because on a week-to-week basis, inside our coaching concierge program, forever speaking to coaches who just get so frustrated at the end of sales calls when this barrage of objections comes their way. And there's none more common than I need to speak to my partner. Now, I'm going to say to you that very often I need to speak to my partner is a little bit of a smokescreen for uncertainty. So if you're hearing this, not only in this video am I going to help you to understand how to handle this, but I want you to understand that, very rarely does somebody actually need to speak to their partner. And therefore, it would always showcase to me some degree of uncertainty. They're not 100% certain. So they use the I need to speak to my partner as a smokescreen. So if this has happened to you, yes, in this video, I'm going to talk you through what you should say and how you should handle this. But also if you've been having it as of late, understand that in a lot of cases, it's not true. It's something else. There is something you may have not covered on the call that's given them a degree of uncertainty. And as a result, they've said, bang, knee-jerk reaction, I need to speak to my partner. It's their way of having to navigate away from the call. So let me take you through a standard sales call that most people deliver, most coaches deliver. And trust me when I tell you this, I listen to a lot of sales calls. Inside our scale agency, one of the things that we help our coaches do is develop the skill of closing sales calls. And we have to listen to these. So, I've listened to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales calls, not only from our clients, but from my own closing team. And this objection comes up way too frequently. So what is the standard way of delivering a sales call? Rapport, big conversation at the beginning, a lot of time wasted, and then a lot of waffle just trying to find out what somebody's goal is. What do you want to achieve? What do you feel the problem is? And that's all that's really discovered. Then it's into this pitch. This is what I do. Online coaching. This is how many check-ins you get. This is the program you get. And then look, bang, you tell somebody the price and then this barrage of objection comes in. That's standard. This isn't the way to deliver calls. The way that you should look at your sales closing framework is before you even pitch the methodology that you use to help somebody get to where they want to be, or you pitch exactly how you're going to do it, because there's two things to consider. There is the method and then there is the deliverables. Most coaches just try and sell the deliverables, how I do what I do. The method is the way that you are going to, within your program, solve the issues that people have. So before you even do any of this, there is the discovery and belief stage. So the rapport is very, very short. Then the discovery is finding out where they are now, where they're trying to get to, and what this gap is in the middle of information they don't know, why they haven't tried anything before, what the reason is for actually wanting to go at this goal right now. And then we need to understand some key beliefs. Now think of it like this. If somebody doesn't believe it's possible, if they don't think that the partner is going to support them, if they don't think they've got the time, for example, then it's understandable they're going to give you a load of objections at the end of the call. It's understandable. So how I like to frame a sales call, how I like to deliver a sales call or close, the very big difference between sales where you just talk and then pitch a price, or closing where you're actually understanding the psychology of and human behavior, why people are going to make a certain decision, and then how to overcome those decisions before you even pitch. So what do we do in the middle of the call? Well, isn't it important to understand if somebody has support? If somebody doesn't think the people in their most immediate world are supportive of them on their journey. Now, I remember having a lady that worked with me when I was personal training, and she just wouldn't follow the plan. And I said to her one day, we went in the office and I said, who are you doing this for? My partner told me to. So I'm here for the wrong reasons, or I'm here because I feel I should be doing something. That doesn't mean that somebody's going to move forward. And I said, well, we need to have a conversation with him. We need this to be your goal, not his goal. So when we understand human psychology and why people do things that they value the highest, and they don't do things that they value the least. So if somebody doesn't feel it's something that they want to do, but they haven't got support, then they're going to block their own opportunity for success. by saying at the end, I don't think my partner's going to be supportive. I need to have a conversation with them. So what do I do earlier on in the call to make this so much easier for you to be able to either handle the objection at the end of the call, number one, or collapse it before it's even come up? And this is one of the skills in closing. If you can collapse something so that they cannot even bring it up and it's not even something that they would consider using at the end, you have what we call an objectionless close, where they get to the end. The only real thing that should come up at the end of a call is if they've got the money or they haven't got the money. Just wanted to stop the video for 2 seconds. Now, if you find my content helpful and you want to learn more from me, you want access to resources, you want more free trainings and live weekly webinars, then make sure you click the link in the description. Make sure you head over to my Impact and Integrity free Facebook group. Now, let's get on with the video. If they want to do the program or they don't want to do the program, that's it. All the other objections, in my opinion, are smokescreens or could have been solved a lot earlier on in the call. So here's how we look at this. So, John, if I understand this right, you're really unhappy with how you look right now and you'd love to lose 14 pounds before you go on summer holiday so that the first time in your life you can take off your top and feel confident when you have photos with your family. Is that correct? And also, one of the biggest challenges you face right now is you've tried various different nutritional strategies, but you just want one that would fit into your busy schedule. Absolutely. John, I love this and I think this is great, but I just want to understand something just to get some clarity. Is this something that you've spoken to your family or your wife or your partner, whoever it is that we'll use in this example? Let's say partner. Do you talk to your partner a lot about your goals, or do you and your partner train together? Just so I can understand whether or not this is a journey that you go on your own, or whether or not you actually enroll people and have support around you. It's interesting you say that. Yeah, my wife's never been into training. She always turns her nose up at me. Really? And have you discussed this with her at all? Yeah, we discussed it last night. And what did she say? Look, she might not be into fitness, but she loves the fact that I love fitness. Great, John. So your wife loves the fact that you're committing to this, even though she doesn't do it herself. Is that right? Yeah, 100%. That's really, really great to know. So you see what I've done there? I've just flowed on from what it was that he wants to achieve and given him that excitement of what he wants to achieve and confirmed that to him. That's an important thing. And then the next thing is I've actually asked him specifically whether or not he has the support of his wife. Now, even though she doesn't support the fact that she doesn't do it, she has already given support. So guess what happens when we get later on in the call? We go through the price, go through the pitch, and then imagine John turns around and goes, do you know what? I just want to talk to my wife and I just want to have a chat with her. And I'd say, John, do you mind if we wind back a little bit? Do you mind if we just go to the point where you said we spoke last night? My wife, whilst she doesn't do this, actually really, really supports me. Do you remember that? Yeah, I do. Well, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but given the fact that she fully has your support, you have her support and she wants you to do this, I'm guessing there isn't an issue with your wife, but it might be something else. Have I got that right? So what we're doing here is we're giving him an opportunity to be truthful about the thing earlier on in the call that he was very certain about, the fact that she was going to support him, and then it's something else. So do you mind if I asked you, I mean, a minute ago you said you really want to do the program. I'm assuming that it's not the fact you need to speak to your partner. Is it the finances? What we can do then is to move the partner and spouse to one side, tick the box. He says, to be honest, it is more money. Great. So just so I can confirm, the program is something you definitely want to do. You have full support from your partner, but it's more to do with the actual financial investment involved. Yes. Now at that point, I can turn around and go, great. So are you open to a conversation, an honest conversation between you and I about how we can make this work? Absolutely. Now, dealing with finances and objection is very, very different. But can you see how earlier on in this call, I addressed the partner situation? Now, if earlier on in the call, I say, is your wife, John, fully supportive of what you do? To be honest, we haven't really spoken about this. And do you mind me asking, like, would she be somebody you would need to speak to get kind of like her approval to do this? No, this is something I want to do. Great. So we tick the box again. Now, if John turns around and says, I would have to speak to her 100%, you're like, well, is she home with you right now? Why don't we jump on the call? Or why don't we just pause everything right now and then book a call for later on this afternoon? Because it's important that if you like her support, that she potentially is on the call with you. These are great opportunities to be able to enroll and support on the call. But if you've already dealt with that rapport issue or the spouse or partner issue earlier on, then at the end of the call, one, they're not going to bring it up. And if they do, you can go back over it, collapse it, and actually get right down to the issue and exactly what it is. So that is how you deal with the partner or spouse objection. You deal with it way earlier on in the call. Now think about other objections. How could you potentially ask questions earlier on in the call, quality questions that would enable you to collapse other objections so that when you get to the end of the call, the only two things you're going to hear is, I want to do it, I don't want to do it, or I've got the money or I haven't got the money. And then you can help them find the money. It's a very, very simple way of understanding how to beat objections before you've even got to the pitch or the close. Now, if this has opened your eyes to closing, you want more help, then there's links in the description. If you're earning under 10K, then click on the link for Coach Concierge Build. If you're earning over 10K and you want to scale, then you'll see that link there as well. If you are listening to this on iTunes, send me a DM with the word scale and I'll show you exactly how we can help you. But for now, click like, click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.